Hello, this is Sheila from Stone Stories. I hope you enjoyed this story coming up about Newton G. Baker Jr. He's from Hardin County, Tennessee, and he has an interesting story I think you'll like. Let me know if you like it. Thank you for watching.
Meet Newton G. Baker Jr., a man whose life journey stretched from the quiet hills of Savannah, Tennessee, to one of the most solemn chapters in American history. Born between 1841 and 1848, Baker's early years remain shrouded in the uncertainty of the era, but his legacy is etched clearly in the story of a nation divided. The Civil War arrived on his doorstep in 1862. During the Battle of Shiloh, though not yet formally enlisted, he fought to defend his home soil. His granddaughter, Effie Johnson, later recalled how he remained haunted for the rest of his life by the horrors of the battle and the carnage he witnessed at Pittsburgh Landing. Seeking to serve formally, Baker eventually traveled north to enlist as a private in Company F of the 13th Illinois Cavalry, known as the German Guides, serving throughout the Western Theater in Missouri and Arkansas. Despite his time on the front lines, Baker's most defining moment came in April 1865, following the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Driven by a lifelong admiration for the president, he was selected to serve as a guard of honor, a prestigious duty reserved only for soldiers of the highest discipline. The president's body traveled 1,654 miles from Washington, D.C. to Springfield, Illinois, aboard a special railcar called the United States, as the train retraced Lincoln's 1861 inaugural route in reverse. Millions gathered along the tracks, lighting bonfires and singing hymns. Baker stood among the honor guard, keeping watch as the train rolled through the night. He frequently recounted the atmosphere of the funeral, to his family expressing awe at the sheer silence of the crowds in Springfield. He often mentioned that the most difficult part of his duty was not the physical strain, but the emotional weight of seeing thousands of mourners, many of them fellow veterans, weeping as they passed the casket. When the war ended, Baker returned home to Savannah and began building a life rooted in family and community. He married Mary Gamble in 1866, and together they had a son, Everett Leonard Baker. Following Mary's passing in 1902, he later married Rosetta J. Rosie, continuing his life in Hardin County as a devoted husband and neighbor. However, his story didn't end with his return to civilian life. Hardin County was one of the few West Tennessee counties to vote against secession, and it became home to a strong community of Union veterans who formed the backbone of the Grand Army of the Republic. In Savannah, the heart of this movement was Farragut Post No. 6. As one of its early leaders, Baker worked alongside men like G.A.R. Abernathy to keep alive the stories and sacrifices of Union veterans in a region where such loyalty had not always been easy. Newton Baker lived to be 90 years old, carrying the memory of his sacred duty until his death on November 4, 1932. He remained one of the final living witnesses to both the bloodiest day in the West and the nation's final farewell to its fallen leader. Today he rests in Mount Zion Cemetery in Hardin County, Tennessee, where his headstone bears a simple but powerful inscription. He was a guard at the funeral of Abraham Lincoln. In that quiet cemetery, it becomes clear that history lives in the stories of ordinary men who found themselves at extraordinary moments. Newton Glover Baker Jr. began as a soldier, but he will forever be remembered as a final guardian of a martyred president and a pillar of the Union veteran community. As we look back on his 90-year journey, we are reminded that every quiet grave holds a story. If you found inspiration in this piece of hidden history, please like and subscribe to help us share more stories of the people who shaped the American spirit. And be sure to leave a comment below about the veterans in your own family tree whose legacies deserve to be remembered. Until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. There'll be more videos to come, and I hope you enjoy those. See you on the next video.